Welcome back into another edition of Tavern Takes. I will be your host, Josh, tonight, and I am joined by my good friend Sawyer.
Howdy.
On the screen, he has Fuck Adam Silver. We will get into that. Going to talk a little NBA playoffs, little draft lottery that may or may not be rigged at this point. And with us being the Buck fans in the group here, minus Cole, I guess, and B. Kurt as well, we're going to touch base on a little Giannis news that came out today as well. But first things first, we're going to start with Pacers Cavs. And I'm just going to start by saying, are the Pacers are they good enough to go to the finals? I didn't see 3-1 against the Cavs coming, and I mean, as much as I hate to say this Pacers team is a good team, they are a good team. I got to give them the respect, I guess. I just don't like them and don't want to.
Yeah, I don't like them either. They are a well built team though. Like they got a lot of guys. They got 7 pretty darn good players, and really 2 more who are pretty all right, like as rotation guys. But yeah, I mean they're taking it to the Cavs now. I mean they win by 20 yesterday, but really 20 is way too close. That doesn't justify how the game felt. Like they
They
were
were up at by 40 at half.
they had them doubled up 80-39 at the half. That's an ass kicking. Obviously, the Cavs dealing with some injuries. Most of those guys did play, but they don't really look like themselves. But
No.
still, I think to answer your question, can this Pacers team go to the finals? I don't see why not right now. I'm pretty confident they're going to take care of business and win that series. Cavs could maybe win a game or two, but I don't think the Cavs can beat them 3 straight times. And I mean, if you look at the other series in the East, I would say the Pacers have a better roster than the Knicks, and the Knicks are giving the Celtics all they can handle right now. So yeah, I think they can go to the finals. Yes.
I heard this. I don't want to call it a stat, but I guess back in like the 90s, I guess the Pacers like there was this like sequence of wins that like they like just missed the Eastern Conference, made the Eastern Conference, made the finals, but they lost in each of those rounds. And then like the second year that they did the exact same thing, where like it was something like they made the Eastern Conference, they made the finals, but then lost again, or lost the Eastern Conference finals, didn't make it to the finals. Then the year after, they like won the Eastern Conference finals, made it to the finals, but lost the finals. Like we're back in like kind of a same scenario of last year where they lost in the Eastern Conference Finals, did not make the finals. They're probably Eastern Conference Finals bound now. I don't see why like this New York Boston game that's on that we'll get to. They play fast and can Boston, can New York, whomever comes out of that series, can they keep up with them? Like
I don't know. I mean, nobody's been able. The Bucks certainly couldn't slow them down. The Cavs can't slow them down at all.
we were talking the Cavs being arguably, well, I mean, they were one of the best teams in the league this year, but we had them as an early finals pick at one point. Like,
yeah, I mean, to say that it like if the Pacers finish this out and they beat the Cavs in 5, that's if you'd have told me that a month ago before the playoffs started, that would be shocking. Kind of
yeah,
seeing how it's shaken out, seeing just how good this Pacers team is. Honestly, it's not as surprising when you're watching it in real time because you kind of when you watch him play, you're like, man, that guy's pretty good. Nemhard's shooting 50% from 3. Okay, he shot 30% during the year. Now he's
that drives me. That is the one thing that drives me nuts about this team, and I think it's particularly him. That like what 29% during the season,
Yeah.
60% in the playoffs. He does it twice in 2 years. Like,
But I mean, they got guys that are rising to the occasion in the playoffs, and they're really athletic. They're really fast. They have a ton of guys they can throw at good guards. Like if it were to end up being Knicks and Pacers, they got 5 different guys they can put on Brunson. Like
yeah,
they're a good team, man.
yeah. I don't want to give them their flowers. I kept saying they're not as good as advertised. I might have to eat that take.
It's not aging well.
It's not. But like truthfully though, going into the playoffs, I didn't think they were as good as advertised. Like, yes, they got hot at the end of the year. Sure. Like, I know I said Bucks in 5. That was probably more a biased fandom pick, obviously. Like, genuinely, I actually truly thought Bucks in 6, and I did not think we actually should have lost that series, or should have lost that series. I think just having Giannis changes everything comparative to last year.
Yeah.
But to watch us go down in 5, we went down in 6 last year. To watch us go down in 5 this year with Giannis, it's just a credit to how good they actually are too. Like I felt like this Bucks team, and I know we'll get to the Bucks kind of eventually here, but I thought this Bucks team was actually in a better position than what they were last year. Outside of not having Chris Middleton.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I did not think we would lose to the Pacers. I thought, maybe they could take us to the brink, but hey, even if you told me the Pacers were going to beat us, I would have said it was in 7 games. So yeah, to get dominated by them, and now they're dominating the Cavs. It's surprising, but I mean, it's not fluky at this point. It's gonna
No,
if they are able to finish this off, it's 2 years in a row to the Eastern Conference Finals. You can't say they're not the second best team at the very least in the East at that point.
right. I hate to say this too, but they are a fun team to watch. I hate them, but they are fun. Yeah. Let's go to Nuggets Thunder. Probably the best series right now, being at 2-2. But I will say both of the losses, like Nuggets and Thunder, have not been good losses. Like, it's a good series, but they kind of just piss pound each other when they beat each other.
Yeah, these 2 games in Denver have been ugly. Been really ugly games. Obviously, the Nuggets squeaking out Game 3, and then the Thunder squeaking out Game 4. It feels to me like I think OKC's way more talented, just way more dudes. Like I think they're a lot more talented. I think what's keeping the Nuggets in it right now is they're way more experienced. So it's kind of, what do you think's going to win out? And in this series, it feels like when I'm watching the games, it feels like the Thunder will win this series. I just think they're the better team. Now, does Jokic have like a 50-point game in him where all of a sudden they steal another one and then they're up 3-2 going back to Denver?
Could very well happen.
It could happen. And also the series is over and I look like an idiot. But I think this is going to go the distance, which I didn't think so. Coming into the series, I think I said Thunder in 5. But I think this is going 7 games. I do think the Thunder are going to get it done in that 7th game. But I don't know. It's like you said, it's a good series in terms that it's 2-2. All but one of the games has been close, but it's kind of ugly.
It's just very ugly. And I didn't mean piss pound each other as like they're kicking the shit out of each other. It's just been brutally ugly games. Like yeah.
Been rough fights.
If you would have told me that this was the best series, like I also wouldn't have been surprised. I do think these are the two, like this is kind of a series that I kind of had circled in the second round that would be like, yeah, if there is a real shot, I personally thought if there was a real shot of two teams that would go the distance in a series, it would be this series.
See, that's where you and I differed. You're a little higher on the Nuggets than I've been. I thought the Clippers would beat them. I just they're so thin. Like it's 6 guys, and you're so 5.5 guys. One of those guys is Russell Westbrook. Like eventually he's going to do something stupid. Like it's how many guys do they have? Or I think the Thunder have 7 or 8 they can trust, and the Nuggets have 6 at best, sometimes 4.
Yeah. Russ has not been playing that bad, though.
He's been good.
He's actually been a pretty good player in this series.
But he's played good defense on SGA, too. But bad Russ is coming out at some point.
It's coming. It has to come. Yeah. It's coming. I love Russ. I really do. Like,
I do, too.
I've always thought he was a fun player. Like ever since his OKC days, he's been awesome in my opinion. But boy, did he fall off after the Thunder days.
Hey, there's a reason there's no rings on those fingers.
Yeah, yeah,
Fun player, not always the best player in a 7-game series though.
right. Um, let's go to Timberwolves Warriors. Before we talk Celtics Knicks, as that game is currently going on. But Timberwolves Warriors. Turns out Steph Curry's good at basketball, and I think the Warriors are kind of screwed without him.
Yeah, I agree with you. Tonight, I think will be interesting, but I'm pretty sure I know what's going to happen, and that's the Warriors are going to muck it up. It's going to be an ugly game, but the Timberwolves are going to win by 10 to 15 points. They just they just don't have a lot of offense without Steph.
No,
To their credit, they've played great defense in this series, but really all the Timberwolves got to do is score 90 to 95 points. I don't think the Warriors can hit that mark because the offense is just so anemic.
yep, and yeah, all these games have been pretty relatively low scoring, haven't they? Like, if you'd have taken
Yeah,
the under in like every game, I'm pretty sure every under was gonna hit
yeah.
so
I
far.
mean, yeah, game 2 was 117 to 93. That was the blowout win for the Timberwolves at home, but otherwise nobody scored over 102 points.
Jeez.
It's another kind of that's what I like about the NBA playoffs is like people say, oh, the NBA there's no defense, which for the most part in the regular season that's kind of true.
Right.
But once we get to these like second round is really where it starts. Also, these games are rock fights. 102 points is winning you a game where in the regular season you got to score 130 to win. It's
Yeah.
it tightens up, and you see some guys who are really really good defenders.
I actually want to credit. I don't know if you listened to it today at all, but I want to credit actually. Part of my take had Rachel Nichols on today, on their pod today, and they were talking about how, um, like you haven't seen all like the 120-point games, the 130-point games, blah blah blah, and then like they actually kind of segued into like, yeah, we missed '90s basketball, da da da. Well, Rachel Nichols was kind of like, this playoffs is exactly like '90s basketball. These refs are letting these teams play this year, and like there is real tried and true defense if you actually watch these teams play. This is a 2025 version of what the '90s it was truly.
Yeah, and it is, and I love that they're letting them play. Just keep
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
keep it consistent.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. Um, yeah, I mean, but I just think, just going back to the Steph thing, he's not even he's not even expected to be back by like game 6, and that's even if they get there.
I
I think the
said
Warriors.
they gotta win a game to give them a chance to play. Which
I think the Warriors are just screwed at this point. I think they're toast. Like the Timberwolves dodged a bullet with Anthony Edwards not being hurt. I think if Anthony Edwards was hurt, this would be a really like ugly series.
this would be bad. This would be one I'd be falling asleep at
Yeah.
halftime.
Yep.
But yeah,
But
it's just the Warriors can't score, man. Like, where does the
yeah.
offense come from? They need Buddy Hield to have 30 points, and he's just not that guy.
Yeah. He had that one fire off game, but that was
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that was with Steph though. It's a lot easier to be the third guy than it is to you're looking at Jaden McDaniels and Anthony Edwards are now guarding Jimmy Butler
Yeah.
and Buddy Hield, and it's you need somebody random to go off, whether it be Pajemski or Buddy Hield or whoever. And
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I do not either. All right, so moving on into the Knicks Celtics game that just officially went final. Knicks take a commanding 3-1 lead, and unfortunately, things you hate to see. Jason Tatum definitely blew out his Achilles.
Yeah, it certainly looked like an Achilles tear. I'm not one to speculate on injuries. I'll leave that to you.
I'll do all the speculating. I'll be the first to report it. Josh at Tavern Takes. Jason Tatum blew out his Achilles. You heard it here first. Don't even go on Twitter tomorrow to get confirmation. It's torn. That shit looked exactly like the Damian Lillard injury, and honestly, like as much as I hate the Celtics and I can't stand Jason Tatum, like you do hate to see that stuff. That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather watch every team play at full strength, especially at this point when you know the Bucks are out of it. But
Yep.
um, yeah, I mean, it sucks for him. I don't feel bad for Celtics fans, however. So sorry to Jason Tatum, but not the fans.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm probably right there with you on that. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, commanding 3-1 lead for the Knicks. Didn't see this series going kind of that way. You guys, I know, kind of did a little bit.
I had Knicks in 7. I didn't expect a 3-1 lead, but two 20-point comebacks in game 1 and 2 puts the Celtics back against the wall where you can't let the Jalen Brunson game happen, and the Jalen Brunson game happens. So Knicks are up 3-1. My cat's throwing stuff off my table. Things are good.
So, Sawyer, who's the? Let's do this before we transition on the draft lottery. But who's your second round? Let's call it the second round finals pick. Who do you think's going to the finals? Now that we've
Right
seen
now,
what we've seen, who do you think's going to the finals?
I think I think it's going to be Pacers and Thunder in the finals.
That was actually what I was going to say too.
That's what I think.
That's what it feels like it's trending towards.
I'm rooting for Knicks Thunder, but I think it's going to be Pacers Thunder. Just two teams with 7 guys that they can trust.
They're
It'll
young
be
and they
weird
just are
though.
fast.
Yeah, they're young and fast, but neither of them really have like a bona fide second star. I don't even know if the
Yeah.
Pacers have a bona fide first star, but
I'll be honest, it's just all around good team basketball. Like the both of them just play all around good team basketball.
yeah. And that being said, I would have the Thunder winning that series. I'd say
As would I.
Thunder in 6 over the Pacers. That's where I'm at right now.
I think I'm kind of right there with you. I've been high on the Thunder since we've started talking about the NBA playoffs, and I said it originally and I'll say it again. I think the Thunder are getting their first title. I think they're hands down the best team this year, and I was gonna say I don't think it's close. I actually think it's closer than people think, but
I think the series they're in right now
it's the
is
closest that it
pretty
will
damn
be.
close.
Yeah, yeah. But let's move on to what we would call definitely a rigged lottery. Let's just start by saying this. So, for those of you who don't know, the NBA draft lottery was tonight. And basically, long story short, the Mavericks got the number 1 overall pick. They won the lottery. And in shocking manners, Spurs got second, which that doesn't shock me at all. Then the Sixers got the third. And the two teams that had the highest odds of getting they had the most balls would be the Wizards and the Jazz. And they fell to 5 and 6, which is mind blowing to me. Because I feel like I don't remember exactly how many balls they get in the lottery, but I know they get more than I know both of those had more than all the other teams, and usually one of those teams would be in the top 3.
Yeah, at least
And they
in the
fell all the
top.
way to 5 and 6. Like that's insane.
And I mean, that's as far as they can fall. Like the way the draft lottery works, really, the lottery is only for the top 4 picks, right? After
Right.
that, it's by record. So
Yep.
that's the lowest Utah could have possibly been was 5th. The lowest Washington could have possibly been was 6th. So
And
it's
they did it.
nightmare scenario for both of them. You know, the two teams who had the worst odds. Charlotte in there at 4, who I think they were 3rd, right?
They were third, I
They
believe.
dropped
Yeah.
1 spot. But then Philly, San Antonio, and Dallas all making jumps um, is interesting because you know if there are 3 teams who are in the draft lottery this year who could compete next year, those are probably
Those
the
are
3
probably
teams.
the 3. Yeah. Those.
And
Yeah.
they end up 1, 2, 3. Permission to start my rant now.
Absolutely. Fire away.
All right.
I was gonna try to segue into it, but you
No,
fucking go
I
right.
gotta go. I gotta go.
Go ahead.
Fuck Adam Silver. Let's go through the last few months of events here.
Oh, sorry.
Luka Doncic gets traded to the LA Lakers, probably the NBA's biggest franchise, biggest brand. Maybe Celtics and Knicks are up there, but Lakers are the Lakers, right? That's the biggest brand in the NBA. LeBron's there right now, the biggest player in the NBA, maybe the biggest player in NBA history. So he gets Luka alongside of him for an aging Anthony Davis who couldn't stay healthy this year, probably won't stay healthy again, and was one first round pick, a 2029 first or something.
I believe so. Yeah.
If Luka Doncic hits the open market, if he gets the Donovan Mitchell trade package, that's 4 firsts, which I think is a better package than Anthony Davis in one. And odds are he probably gets better than what Donovan Mitchell returned. So we're talking 5 or 6 first round picks if you put him on the open market, which if you are going to trade a guy like Luka Doncic, you want it to be a bidding war. So people, Nico Harrison, obviously everybody said terrible things about this guy because it was terrible business. He didn't maximize the asset he was trying to get rid of, right? But now here we are. What is today's date? May 12th.
May 12th.
2025. The NBA draft lottery comes around. The Dallas Mavericks had a 1.6 or 1.4, whatever it is, percent chance of winning the draft lottery.
Let's call it 2, but yeah.
Well, was it 2 or was it 100%? That's what I want to know.
Exactly. Right.
It seems to me like you make that deal. Adam Silver is somewhere in the fucking middle of it saying, well, you can get Cooper Flag. If you send Luka over to the Lakers, we'll get you Cooper Flag. I mean, if that's not what happened, it's an insane statistical anomaly at the very least. But I don't know. Like, this just seems like a slap in the face to me, to NBA fans.
But do these statistical anomalies happen this much in sports? I mean, okay. Think of another one. This is the most rigged on its face.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's the frozen envelope with David Stern sending Patrick Ewing to the Knicks.
Yeah.
That's the only other one I can think of. But it's
to go and if you're in Dallas, right? First off, a hell of a emotional roller coaster for Dallas fans because they probably didn't expect this, and now you go from generational player, Luka's awesome, right? Everybody loves him. He's the guy that's going to turn around your franchise. He just took you to the finals. Like the ceiling is you win the finals now. Because you've been there, you've done that. You got to the finals, you lost. That sucks. You learn from it. You move on. You go win it. That's usually the steps that people do take. Look at Boston right now, right? That being said, you just traded your once-in-a-lifetime generational player. Maybe not once in a lifetime because they did have Dirk too. So, but you know what I mean? Generational talent. You're only going to see probably one of Luka in Dallas, just like Dirk, just like, us with Giannis, whatever. You're getting a fucking generational player back potentially, in the deal. Potentially. And I'm going to stress potentially. We don't know what Cooper Flag will be in the NBA. But everybody's saying he's the next up-and-coming guy. And so if he lives up to this standard, the Luka trade doesn't even fucking matter anymore because you just got your generational player back.
You get a guy right back. And for the Dallas fans who aren't Adam Silver or Nico Harrison or anybody involved in this, that it's a win for them. I'm somewhat happy for them, I guess, because you lose Luka basically out of nowhere. You wake up in the middle of the night and you've lost your superstar.
Yeah,
and you get this gift of a lottery, and
if you're a tried and true Dallas fan, I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I'm happy it's worked out.
Otherwise, I don't care.
The average
is bullshit.
I'd say 9 out of 10 Dallas fans though would prefer to just still have Luka. I would say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. They love that guy.
But at least, they get something out of it.
Yep.
And maybe something really good. I mean, who knows? I'm kind of a Cooper Flag hater, but I think he'll be a solid NBA player. But he's not going to be Luka.
No, I mean, yeah, he's not going to be Luka. Like I said, Luka's one of one. He is the once in a lifetime player.
He's incredible. He put that team on his back and took him to the finals last year.
Yeah. That being said, and speaking of the lottery, because this kind of segues into what I want to talk about now. If you got anything more on the NBA being rigged, I mean,
No.
Before I let you rant, I want to kind of rant a little bit.
The only
But it's
other
gonna,
thing I'll say is congratulations to the San Antonio Spurs. They're going to get Ace Bailey, most likely. I mean, Dylan Harper or Ace Bailey. I think they'll take Ace Bailey, and it's a really good get for them. He's going to fit along nicely with Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox. Good for the Spurs. The Spurs are going to be fun next year.
Spurs are going to be fun. That also leads me into what I want to talk about next. Because with them getting a second pick, do they have a trade package now for Giannis? They are one of the teams that have probably the highest amount of assets. Do they transition off of having that second and I think 14th pick, if I'm correct, and tie those up with maybe a Castle and some other players and ship them off to Milwaukee to go win with Giannis?
I mean, they can try.
I mean, okay, so I'm going to go on a rant now because I want to. And I'm only talking about this because of the reporting that was today that apparently Giannis's agents are saying that he is essentially like willingly open to like hearing trade scenarios for himself. Which I want to start by
They didn't
saying
say he was willing. They said he's the most willing that he's ever been. So could mean nothing.
Which I want to start by saying this. It was reported by Shams first. Usually Shams is a pretty reliable source. But unless I hear it from Giannis himself or the Bucks organization themselves, I don't believe a goddamn thing you say about Giannis. And I never will. Because this has been a story for the last like 6 or 7 years and nothing has panned out. Now, is it the most maybe realistic this year? Probably. But I also think you're talking about the most loyal dude in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the record. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I don't think he's going anywhere. And
ESPN needs something to do.
they do. And I think this story just is a bullshit story. I think it just kind of came out of nowhere. They needed something to spark up lottery talk for tonight. The Spurs getting like the second round pick tonight. Now they can start talking about, and if we're talking about NBA rigged, maybe this is also another way of saying, oh, but the Spurs can go get Giannis now, blah, blah, blah. They got that pick, da, da, da. You know, there's a story for you. Again, that being said, I don't think he's going anywhere. I'm not actually going to rant too much on it. All these trade packages that I see, it's not enough. Like, do these teams, you alluded to, actually, I'm glad you said this, because you alluded to Donovan Mitchell having gotten 4 first-round picks when he went to Cleveland. That kind of set the precedence on like superstar style trades outside of Luka, because that was just insane. But outside of Luka, wherever that came from, whatever Nico Harris had up his ass that day whatever. Anyway, set the precedence kind of for like superstar trades, right? 4 first-round picks and a couple players is not going to do it for Giannis.
No.
I don't care what anybody says. Like, even, I don't know if you saw this, but even KD on Twitter today, somebody asked KD on Twitter, what does a Giannis trade scenario look like? And KD even said, 4 of your 5 starters and 6 first-round picks.
Yeah, I mean that's
exactly it. That's exactly it. Like, people think it's crazy that like we would want 5 or 6 picks, but is it crazy? You're talking about arguably the best player in the world.
Yeah, I don't think it's crazy at all. It would have to be insane, and even if it was insane, I still wouldn't like it.
I wouldn't like it either because it's still just
You
we're
give
losing.
you give me the Spurs starting 5 outside of Wembanyama, and I mean they have what do they have? They have like they have an insane amount of picks the next 5 years. They literally have like 40 picks the next 5 years. It's absolutely insane. I wouldn't take all of them.
No, because here's the thing: Giannis goes to San Antonio, and they're gonna go contend.
Yeah,
We don't know what we're gonna get back. Essentially, like, yeah, we might be a playoff team.
We'd have to draft well.
And we don't do that. Outside of who? Maybe one Giannis Antetokounmpo. We don't really draft that well.
Really, our only good draft pick in quite some time.
I'm not gonna go too crazy on it. I just saw the reporting. I saw the reporting today, and it's gonna strike a nerve with me every time because it shouldn't, because it happens every year, but it strikes a nerve with me all the time with my Bucks fandom, I guess, more so than anything. But I just don't think like the big media market actually knows what they're talking about with Giannis.
No, they don't. They have no idea. It's all speculation. It's all clickbait. It's whatever. It really, like, kind of like you said, like it shouldn't bother us anymore, but it does. It's infuriating. It tugs at my heartstrings because I love Giannis so much. And every year I'm like, I'm not going to pay any attention to this, but then I do, and I get.
And then I get suckered right back into it every year. It's like
we'll probably do it again next year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because every year from here on out, the years that we don't win the finals, it's going to be talked about. Giannis out of Milwaukee, Giannis out of Milwaukee, every single year. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. It gets under my skin, and I don't really know why, because it shouldn't. But, and even if he does, that being said, I think we're both on record on this pod saying that if he does leave, we will still respect him.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we will still love him. He gave us his all. Like, that dude is my all-time favorite athlete at this point. Like, It's not even close.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I love that man. Like, to an emotional level, that's probably more than my fiance.
Cut that out.
No, she knows it too. She knows it.
I'm not hopping on with you there.
That's fine. That's fine. I will say, the day we won the finals, and I still joke about it with her too. The day we won the finals is still the best day of my life. Wasn't when I met you. Wasn't when I proposed to you. Sorry, Abby. Like, that was the best day of my life, hands down. Maybe when we get married, it might change. But until then, July 20th, 2021 was the best day of my life, period. But either way, like, the reporting on Giannis, like I said, it drives me nuts. It shouldn't. I know we already said this. I'm just kind of talking in a circle now, but he's not going anywhere. He's just not.
No.
I don't care what like anybody says. It's not happening.
He'll be wearing a Bucks jersey next year. I guarantee it.
Yeah. I wouldn't even be surprised if we find a way to get Chris Middleton back on the team.
I don't know if it's possible, but I would welcome him back with open arms.
I will welcome back. Yes. That jersey is going in the
Tyler Hero wants to come to Milwaukee. He basically said it today.
Yeah, I mean, I know it was talked about in our chat today.
He said he would love to come to Milwaukee in form of a picture, but a picture is worth 1,000 words. And those 1,000 words were, I want to go to Milwaukee, over and over and over again.
I mean, he was literally wearing a Giannis jersey.
I think it was a Ray Allen jersey.
I again said in our chat off the pod that I don't allude to 34 as Ray Allen anymore.
I respect Ray Allen still.
Yeah, well, guess whose number is being retired in the Raptors at 34, and guess who's
it's going to be honest. But...
Anyways, I mean, Giannis isn't going anywhere. 414 forever. Well, let's wrap things up for tonight. I think we touched base on the NBA news that was kind of out and about today, really. NBA is so rigged, though. It's insane.
NBA rigged. Fuck Adam Silver.
NBA rigged. Fuck Adam Silver. You can find us at Tavern Takes. Like us on Facebook, Spotify, YouTube. Like and subscribe. Share it on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at Tavern Takes. Sawyer, can they find you at Tavern Takes?
They can find me at Tavern Takes.
Love to hear it. We'll talk to you guys later.
Peace.